People were fleeing anxiously as several zombies appeared on the square. These people have been living inside the walls for 15 years. They've forgotten how to survive and now all they want to do is get out of this place. But there were still some people who were slow to run and they were pounced on by the zombies. And the consequences could be imagined. The entire square echoed with screams, and the air was thick with the smell of blood. It seemed that living a comfortable life in the apocalypse might not be a good thing after all. Just like Daryl and his group, who faced various hardships and could handle situations like these with ease. Even Judith, the little child, was killing zombies and helping others. In the chaotic crowd, Sebastian grabbed Maxine, shouting loudly, as he contemplated how to deal with her. A zombie approached them. A sinister smile played on his lips. Maxine screamed in terror. Lacking survival experience, she instinctively tried to push away the zombie, narrowly avoiding being bitten. Fortunately, Eugene arrived just in time. He accelerated and collided with the zombie, inadvertently pushing it into Sebastian's arms. Facing Sebastian's plea for help, people remained indifferent. No one stepped forward, highlighting the poor reputation of this spoiled young man. Sebastian now realized how laughable his so-called training was in the face of real zombies. After all, he just has a mother who was the governor. In the end, zombies bit into Sebastian's neck, and his agonizing screams were pitiful. Gunshots rang out, and Judith arrived just in time to help. However, it was too late for Sebastian. Soon, a large number of soldiers arrived at the square, and it wouldn't be long before the chaos subsided. Eugene pulled Maxine away, knowing that the Milton family's reputation would suffer, and they would be held accountable. However, amidst the escape, Maxine was separated from the crowd. When Eugene realized it, she was nowhere to be seen. As Eugene frantically searched for Maxine, Daryl knew his friend had caused trouble, especially indirectly causing the death of Pamela's son. He needed to hide his good buddy. 3 hours later, the zombie crisis had been averted. Pamela looked at her son's body and didn't bawl in hysterics as expected. She seemed to be always calm in front of the people. Michael wanted to give Sebastian a proper send-off to prevent him from turning into a zombie, but Pamela refused. She stated that unless she gave the order, no one could do so. After a moment of silence, Pamela spoke to Michael. "I'm not blind to what kind of person Sebastian was, but he's my son, and no matter how others see him, I just want to help him. Family ties are not rational. As you well understand, Maxine's been loyal to me for over a decade. I think she's just confused. If you catch Eugene, we can make an example of him and get your sister off the hook." You'd be wrong to think that Pamela is a kind person who would let Maxine off the hook so easily. In fact, it's because Pamela understands that the only reason someone like Michael does what she says is because his sister lives in the Commonwealth. Power is all that matters to Pamela. The soldiers launched a citywide manhunt for Eugene, and everyone associated with him was brought in for questioning. In the interrogation room, Michael began questioning Rosita about the events leading up to the riot. Observing Michael's demeanor, Rosita responded icily to his inquiries. When asked where Eugene might be hiding, Rosita quipped, "If I happen to come across him, I'll be sure to give you a call." Recognizing Rosita's discontent, Michael sighed, saying, "Listen, Rosita, I respect you, even if you don't respect me right now, but I need you to do something for me. Get Eugene to turn himself in. Show remorse and cooperate. It will benefit everyone involved, including my sister, Maxine. If your people try anything tricky, no one will leave alive, and that won't be good for any of you." Facing the threat, Rosita chuckled and left. She was disappointed in Michael, having expected him to be a reasonable man. Afterward, Rosita gathered some belongings and went to the church, where Eugene was hiding. They discussed the grim situation and concluded that they needed to get Eugene out as soon as possible. Daryl knew of an exit that they could slip through during a soldier shift change. However, Eugene expressed gratitude for their concern but insisted he couldn't just leave Maxine to face everything alone. He needed to find her and ensure her safety first. Understanding Eugene's sentiments, Rosita reassured him. She told Eugene to stay hidden while she went out to look for Maxine. Once Maxine is found, she'll help them escape. After listening, Eugene calmed down. Rosita didn't dawdle. She took her weapon and went out to look for Maxine. Soon it was dark and Maxine was still hiding. She looked behind the wall and saw Rosita looking for her. Maxine rushed forward to ask about Eugene. Naturally, Rosita saw Maxine too, but there were 2 soldiers behind her and she waved Maxine away. Maxine understood and went back the way he came. This led to Maxine being captured and taken to the interrogation room. In front of Maxine, Michael placed a prepared statement, hinting at shifting blame onto Eugene. Maxine, realizing the intention, sarcastically recited the statement aloud. The gist was that she had long suffered from sudden-onset depression, recently stopped taking medication, and, in a confused state, was manipulated by Eugene into recording Sebastian's words. This led to turmoil in the Milton family. Maxine expressed remorse and hoped for forgiveness from the compassionate society. Before Maxine could finish, Michael stopped her, urging her to sign it and accept the federal pardon. However, Maxine loudly told her brother that she did it because the Commonwealth was too corrupt. "You know, Sebastian pushed me to the zombies and then laughed about it. Eugene saved me. Do you want me to watch him die?" Michael, despite his actions, was only trying to protect his sister. Meanwhile, in a prison cell, Lance, hands bound, knelt on the floor. Pamela was on her way to see him, and he felt a sense of excitement. His efforts were finally bearing fruit. Turns out Lance ordered his men to create zombies to get attention so he could meet Pamela. He was sure he could convince Pamela to let him go. Except no one told him that Sebastian died accidentally in the chaos. A group of zombies suddenly appeared on the square, and amidst the chaos, Sebastian was gruesomely bitten to death by the undead. However, the mastermind behind unleashing the zombies was Lance. Confined in a prison cell, Lance believed that if Pamela investigated the incident, she would discover his involvement, providing him with an opportunity to persuade her and reclaim his position. He assumed that since the zombies would only kill a few civilians, Pamela wouldn't take severe action against him. What Lance doesn't know is that Sebastian is dead. Lance tried his best to explain that it was an accident. He emphasized his past support for Sebastian, citing the dirty work he did for him solely because Sebastian was Pamela's son. Pamela didn't say a word but instead ran her hand over Lance's face. Lance had a look of enjoyment on his face. They must have had some kind of special relationship in the past. Or else how could a commoner like him have become the High Steward? But Pamela is not in the mood to flirt with Lance right now. Pamela's look was a murderous one, so Lance hurriedly said that it was all the fault of Alexandria's safe zone and those people. Ever since they joined the Commonwealth, their once peaceful lives have been thrown into disarray. These people are cruel and murderous and hard to deal with. Give me a chance to redeem myself or there will be more chaos. Pamela let go and crouched down, reaching into Lance's pocket and pulling out a coin. Knowing Lance's habit of using a coin toss to make decisions, Pamela extended her hands, asking him to guess which hand held the coin. Lance was sweating profusely. This choice was a matter of life and death for him. Eventually, he nodded towards Pamela's left hand, exhaling a sigh of relief as he guessed correctly. The door to the room opened and a soldier pushed a zombie in. The dead Sebastian. Lance, bewildered, had no idea what was about to happen. Immediately, the soldiers locked the chain to the wall corner, intensifying Lance's nervousness. He wondered if this woman was going to go back on her word and kill him in this way. Then another soldier came in carrying the bodies of the two men Lance had sent to make the zombies. And now they were dead. The soldiers also untied the rope from Lance's hands. "What is this about?" Pamela turned to me and said, "Those two bodies are still warm. Feed them to my son. Didn't you say you wanted to serve the Milton family?" Early the next morning, Rosita, who had gone out to look for Maxine, returned to the church. Eugene hears the commotion and comes out to ask expectantly how his girlfriend is doing. Daryl urges them to go. It's almost time for the soldiers to change the guard and now is their only chance to leave the Commonwealth today. However, Eugene, despondent, sat on a chair. His companions were puzzled but quickly understood that Eugene couldn't let go of Maxine. This moment for Eugene is arguably the most shining moment throughout the Walking Dead series. The old Eugene would have agreed to anything to save his life, even betraying his friends to stay alive, whereas now he is completely fearless in the face of death. Some people and things had become more important to him than life itself. Subsequently, Eugene took off the necklace he wore, a gift intended for Coco, because after this parting, they may never see each other again, and he won't have the chance to wait until Coco's bar mitzvah to give it to her. If the former Eugene had possessed the courage and charm he exhibited now, perhaps Rosita would have chosen him. The current Eugene exuded a genuine masculinity. After bidding farewell to his old friend, Eugene calmly walked into the police station. When the soldiers noticed him, they hesitated for a moment before promptly apprehending him. Eugene then confessed that he had secretly recorded Sebastian and played it in the square in order to hurt the Milton family. He also got Sebastian killed, and the riots that followed were orchestrated by him alone. Michael nods. How can he not see that Eugene turned himself in to save Maxine? Michael looked at Eugene being taken in and felt very bad. So Eugene was sent to prison, where he would be used by Pamela to make an example of him. Meanwhile, Rosita went back to the house to pack up her things, and they will meet at the place where the wagons are. And today they will leave the Commonwealth before saying anything more. They respect Eugene's choice. Besides, They can't rescue Eugene until they're safe. Rosita just walked out of her room. She may be good, but she's outnumbered. The same thing is happening elsewhere. Carol was at the biscuit shop to get some food for the road, and she also said goodbye to Ezekiel and said some words of blessing. Suddenly, Carol sensed something was amiss and turned around, only to find Ezekiel gone. As she looked back, two burly men entered the shop. Eventually, Carol managed to escape through the back door. Unaware of what had transpired, she headed to the agreed-upon meeting point. Upon arriving, Carol found only the carriage, its contents spilled on the ground, indicating a struggle. Carol guessed that the companions must have been attacked because there were still bloodstains on the ground. Carol hears movement in the house, and inside is Daryl, who was also attacked by two men. Though Daryl had killed one, the other had a firm grip around his neck. Daryl tried to reach for the nearby dagger, but the man wouldn't allow Daryl an easy escape. The man intensified his efforts, preparing to finish off Daryl. Suddenly, the deceased attacker started moving, evidently turning into a zombie. Daryl continued to be ruthlessly pounded by the man. Just as Daryl was about to succumb, Carol arrived. The man was just about to get up and fight again when his companion jumped on top of him. Daryl stepped in and addressed the threat. If left unchecked, the zombies could pose a threat to the residents. It appeared that their group had indeed been attacked, and even the children were abducted. However, one person remained unharmed, and that was Yumiko. Filled with anger, Yumiko stormed into Pamela's office to settle scores. It was clear that Pamela was behind the attacks. It turns out that the biggest dude of all is not Sebastian, but Pamela. Within the Commonwealth, anyone who displeased Pamela vanished. Much like the soldier named Tyler, Pamela's capture of Rosita and others was a tactic to coerce Yumiko. Pamela wants Yumiko to represent the Commonwealth as a lawyer to sue Eugene. Now you're asking why they didn't just kill Eugene or find another lawyer. That's because the Commonwealth's laws are for ordinary people. Pamela aimed to use the legal process to eliminate Eugene, and having Eugene's old friend Yumiko prosecute him would further emphasize Eugene's supposed malevolence. It means Pamela's on the side of good. If Yumiko refused, everyone captured would die. Pamela even used Yumiko's brother, Tommy, as leverage. Yumiko is in a dilemma. She has no choice.